Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Government orders probe after airstrikes killed civilians. Labour to negotiate minimum wage commensurate with cost of living. 300 MDAs failed to submit audited accounts for Auditor General. Nigeria's delegation to COP28 is 422, says Minister. 4 terrorism sponsors jailed. Emefiele seeks variation of bail condition. Oil sector hit by influx of foreign welders. Abbas, why Nigerians should participate in process. And immigration gets CG and DCGs. Okay.
So I have the welder story, and it's very heartbreaking. So according to the Minister of Science and Technology, Chief Uche Naji, Nigeria has been, losing an estimated $10 billion dollars, don't mind me, annually in revenue by importing welders with international certifications. Wow. So in the oil and gas sector particularly, they've been displaced our local content, local, local quota for employment have been sabotaged by, looking for welders with international certification and local service suppliers due to lack of what they call acceptable accreditation. Now, why this breaks my heart is that, let me just finish the story. He was speaking at the National Policy on Welding and Welding-related fields and presentation of his strategy, implementation and action plan yesterday in Abuja. And this breaks my heart because I know that the school, the oil school, what was it called again?
Technical colleges.
College, one in Warri, was opened for this purpose, where Nigerians were trained to know the business of the oil and gas sector, especially the technical areas of it, the practical work, the welding, all of that. And that particular school, I'm going to remember before the end of the show, was churning out graduates that they were telling to go and find work by themselves. So what were we giving them in that school? We're not giving them the certification that was internationally recognized, enough for the oil and gas sector to find their local, fulfill local employment by employing these guys. It's just annoying to see that we are still here. When we make a plan to meet a need as a government, that policy will not be sabotaged and we'll come back there in 10 years. It's like we take one step forward and start lamenting.
All right, that's another story.
I wanted to take the Emefiele is going back to court to seek for a 300 million naira a bail variation. He said that he's approaching the court because he has not been able to meet the bail conditions. We all know that he was given a 300 million naira, and then 2 from Maitama, 2 people with houses in Maitama district. But the court ordered that he shouldn't leave the court's jurisdiction. So that is what they want to go for. That's what they are going to appeal against. That's particular, but they said they're going to finish getting the conditions by this week. So he should be out.
Okay, let's. Yesterday we were talking very extensively about the delegation at COP28. So federal government yesterday tried to shed more light on the composition of those that followed the president to Dubai. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, clarified that only 422 delegates were sponsored by the federal government. He said that the report that 1,400 delegates represented was false. He also said that the delegation was composed of federal government. Let me get the list here. Federal government funded delegation they had about National Council on Climate Change about 32, FG Ministry of Environment had about 34. All the ministries sent representatives. We came into our 167. The presidency itself went to 67. Office of the Vice President, 9 of them, National Assembly, 40, and federal parastatals and agencies, 73. So he said as the biggest economy and most populous country in Africa with a substantial extractive economy and extensive vulnerability to climate change, Nigeria has a significant stake in climate action, and their active and robust participation in co-op is therefore very, very significant and relevant at this time.
So I want to take the story on the House of Rep. The House of Representatives the Committee on Public Accounts have said that over 300 ministries, departments, and agencies of government have failed to submit their audited accounts to the Auditor General of the Federation. He said it's a requirement by law, and the chairman of this particular House Committee on Public Accounts, Bamidele Salam, announced when they resumed the investigative hearing that these agencies have not been able to clarify their expenditure from the government. This is from COVID-19 funds, and some of the agencies have not submitted their audited reports in 10 years, and this is something that they should do every year by law. So Honorable Salam was saying the committee would be investigating those MDAs and those that have defaulted, and he said that the House would verify all the government projects across 6 geopolitical zones to determine if they truly exist and the extent of the work carried out on them. It's a bit surprising that we're uncovering that some MDAs exist that have not submitted audited reports for 10 years, and yet we have an oversight function by the House of Rep that has been there all the while. So let's not just do this for drama. Let's do the work and do it so that we never have to come back and talk about this again.
So I remember now, the school is PTI, Petroleum Training Institute, Warri.
Yes.
F1 Delta State, and it was opened for this purpose
exact thing.
under President Obasanjo at the time because we needed local content. We don't finish now. But back then, 2023, not employing our own.
Okay, let's move on quickly now to the Punch. Outrage as warplanes kill 85 in Kaduna village bombing. Cash shortage hits banks. Customers rush for BVN and NIN revalidation. Funding 422 delegates to co-op wasteful, says opposition. Collapsed bridge making life unbearable. Lagos community laments. Gateway Poly shot over robbery attacks. Family panics as 13-year-old schoolgirl disappears in Lagos. Immediately, U.S. group alleges human rights violation. Okay, which story are we taking? Punch. Should I start with the picture story here? Residents of Teledaleshe, Maidan, Orile in Ikosi, Isheri local council area of Lagos, have expressed their dismay over the unbearable suffering they go through every single day because of the failure of the state and federal government to reconstruct the collapsed Maidan Bridge, which serves 12 communities. According to this report, the correspondent had visited the area on Wednesday morning, observed that the difficulty residents, especially school children, were going through was unfounded. The correspondent said that they paid 50 naira to board a wooden boat that carries about 30 passengers to cross the bridge that is not more than 50 meters length. It says that the community owns 7 boats, but only 2 are active. And the passengers always have to gather around it. They have to wait long hours before they're able to get on board to cross over. Some people wake up as early as 3 a.m. in the morning just to get across. So they're asking government to please come to their aid. It's actually not too far from here. As you could see, Sherry, area in Lagos is a bridge, really collapsed, and it's actually a man-made bridge that
What
needs
is
to be...
even worrying about it is that I don't think KNOs have life jackets.
So, yes, they don't. That's not even the issue. Imagine, life jacket is not as important as the ability for there to be a boat to cross over. So it's really sad. It's really sad.
So, I wanted to take the...
Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll take your story. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.